Welcome back to the sunny side of your number one station for 1290.3 Nigerian for FM. Good afternoon to you. And I'm still excited. It's the end of January. It's the end of January. It's the end of January. Anyway, while it's the end of the month, I'm sure what I'm about to talk about is not new to us. However, why it continues to persist is why we are here. Tenants. You guys have been giving your landlords and landladies issues. Problem. Your reluctance to pay your rent when due. Now, if you own a property you have put up for rent, be it a shop or a residential apartment, you expect yearly or monthly returns, depending on your payment agreement with your tenants. Imagine pumping in so much money to acquire a piece of land, then develop that property, that piece of land, with a mindset of achieving yields, only to be faced with the problem of not receiving rent because your tenants either refuse to pay rent or refuse to pack out. Oh yeah, you don't want to pay rent? Pack, leave my house. I don't want to do again. Carry your problem and go. I don't want you as tenant again. They say no. Oh yeah, pay rent. They say no. What still? Some will pack out when the landlord or landlady is not aware, in the middle of the night. And they will not pay the outstanding rent. This is the situation some property owners in our society are faced with. Before you go in the morning, Mr. Okechukwu, no disrespect to Mr. anybody bearing Okechukwu. Mr. Okechukwu, by the time they open the door, Mr. Okechukwu has packed everything. And guess what? Mr. Okechukwu is owing 3 years rent. So they leave without even clearing the debt or the rent, as it were. Or they don't leave. The property owner would use any means possible. They will go to court. They will serve them quit notice. They will even involve the police. They will put heavy big padlock in the house. They will even go as far as de-roofing the house or the shop. And some of these tenants will just balance like one oga. Like they're untouchable. I even hear that some tenants use jazz. Some tenants will go about bragging, I'm not going to do anything. Even those ones when they shout, honey, landlord was here today, oh. The rent, how are we going to do it? I beg, leave that man. No nonsense, man. Nothing go happen, I beg. Babe, bring my food. But babe, we are owing this man. Yes, something, I beg. Now only we they owe. You know, see what's in happen for the country. Money no dey, oh. I beg. Money no dey. Pack out now, pack out. Where are we packing to? I beg. What's in there? What's going on here? Some people have actually had to resort to, using a lawyer. So you don't deal with the landlord or property owner directly. You deal with their lawyer. And I think whenever they bring in lawyers, people tend to respect themselves. Because they don't know the owner of the property. So they cannot go and be forming. Once it is time, the lawyer serves you a letter. You have the account number to pay your rent to. Then they issue you receipt showing acknowledgement of payment made. So you don't know. Your landlord might be passing. Your landlord may even be in the same compound with you. And when they are talking landlord and tenant matter, the person, yes, that's not, but you do not know. Because your problem, you don't too much. But then again, on the sunny side today, on your number one station for talk, 90.3 Nigerian for FM, I am asking, why But why are tenants reluctant to pay rent when due? Whether it's a shop, whether it's a residential apartment, do tell us. 070-0923-0923. Once again, 070-0923-0923. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. Once again, 0809-030-6416. We are live on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter handle at Nigeria Info PH. Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call. Be audible so we can hear you. Nigeria Info, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, hi, welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
The other thing I'm with you. I have one right now.
You have one tenant right now.
Yeah. It's 21st of this month. It's I didn't have registered. Tell me now. You know what the person told me that I should give her a quick notice.
The person said you should give her quit notice.
Yes, because they feel that if you give them quick notice, they will remain for the next 3 months before they back. You know, it's a problem for us. We don't know how to handle.
So what excuse is she given for her inability to pay the rent?
She didn't tell me anything. She didn't even come to say, landlord, wait. If he maybe next month or just say, give me quick notice.
Now, wow. So what are you going to do about her now?
Well, I decided whether I will go to the police or go to the court now.
To the police or to the court?
I'm going to court.
Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. I'm so sorry for your situation. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's a she. Now, some people would say they prefer male tenants to female tenants. Yeah, some property owners are very specific about the gender of the tenant. And this is solely because of this kind of problem. That maybe the male tenants tend to pay quicker or the female tenants pay quicker. I don't know which is which now, but you tell me, between the male and female, if you're a property owner, which of this gender is more compliant when it comes to paying rent as and when due? Like I said, we're live on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH is the Twitter handle, and then Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Why are tenants reluctant to pay rent? And it's not just the reluctance for me, it's the pride and the arrogance that comes with it. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Daddy Wilson, calling from Morazi.
Daddy Wilson, welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. Concerning female or male tenants, the ones that do meet up to their rent, I believe both are the same. But when it comes to try, I prefer putting a northern person, because these are how South people, they do meet up to their rent.
Northerners pay rent quicker.
Yeah, today I locked somebody's house today.
You're a property owner.
I'm a property owner.
So why did you lock the person's house?
Yes, I locked the person's house because this house has been due, and which the person knows. The most thing they will always do, they will know the time that the rent will due, and you will pretend as if you don't know as the landlord. You will just allow them. They will not come to you to tell you that, okay, landlord, I want to pay, my rent has been due. They will just allow you to come to remind them. And once you come, if you remind them about their rent, then they will start from that day to post you when they will pay their rent. You see, so this attitude has affected both the men and the female. So now we are doing it by tribe. Maybe in Port Harcourt here, I prefer putting a northerner.
A northerner.
From Hausa. in my own property because they meet up to their rent.
Okay, thank you for sharing. He says Northerners meet up to pay rent than people from other tribes. Okay, Onyekachi Carlo Nuogu says, I bring you greetings, Madam Didi. Some tenants, they turn to landlord. You they owe person house rent and you drag them go cut. And then begin back and front movement, and at that point you can't touch the tenants. To me, most tenants are just wicked and heartless. By the way you're looking great with a great smile. Oh, thanks and God bless you. Good news, Alex Wom says, when there is no money to pay now, if not, why can they pay for their rent fee? I said some tenants have money they don't want to pay. The tenants that you see, like, oh God. I have seen problematic tenants too. They will throw parties. They will constitute nuisance. They wouldn't abide by the rules and regulations stipulated by the landlord or the lawyer. You see them driving flashy cars. You see them carrying women. You see them doing things and things. Yet, then they owe. Nigerian first. Good afternoon. Turn off your radio set, please.
I've done that.
All right, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Bright Woshi. I'm calling from Romodumaya.
Bright, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. I know somebody talked about he preferred Muslim.
Northerners. You said
it's
Northerners. True. Northerners, yeah.
Yes, Northerners or a Muslim. You understand? So I confirmed that also as the landlord is true. And then secondly, about between man and woman who pays rent when it's due. It depends for the women, depending on the kind of woman. If it's a woman that is young, you know, that maybe trooping again, come around with men, you know that later at the end of the year of the rent, a man can also sponsor. But if it's an ordinary woman, it means that you battle to collect your rent. Then, when it comes to about wicked tenants, hello?
I'm here.
When it comes to wicked tenants, it's an easy thing. The major thing is that hand over your property to a lawyer. It will be an easy thing for the lawyer to interact with the tenant. So another thing is that, you know, most tenants also know that the more you stay in somebody's house, that staying, even your rent have expired, you are supposed to pay the landlord. So wicked tenants.
You say tenants don't know that they are supposed to pay landlord. Is the house free?
You said what?
You say tenants don't know that they are supposed to pay landlord. Is the house free?
No, I mean when their rent expires, naturally, if they added additional months by staying there, they are supposed to pay for that additional 1 or 2 months before they pack out.
All right.
According to the law.
We need to go on a commercial break now. When we come back, the conversation continues. The stations, us, we are Nigeria Info.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to the sunny side. Before we went in the break, if you're just joining us, we were talking tenants' reluctance to pay rent when due. And I started off by saying that if you own a property or you put up, could be a shop, could be a residential apartment, you expect yearly or monthly returns depending on your payment agreements with your tenant. And now you imagine that you're putting so much to build or develop that property with a mindset of achieving yields, only to be faced with one problem, and that problem is the problem of not receiving rent. Because your tenant either refuses to pay rent, and you say, okay, since you don't want to pay, leave my property. I want to bring in another tenant. The tenant refuses to leave. They refuse to pack out. And then some will owe you first year, second year. They'll owe you for as long as 3-4 years. And then, you keep letting them stay with the mindset that they will eventually pay. And it surprises you that one day you go to knock on the shop or knock on the house and you discover this tenant has packed everything. They didn't pay one kobo. So they lived or they used your property for those number of years or months without paying a dime. You are at a loss. Finding this tenant now, for all you know, they have carried their problem to another property owner. Hish! So the circle continues. They manage to pay the first year rent. But you see, after that first year rent, they somewhat feel entitled, and then they stop paying the rent. Now, some have argued that, it's because the person doesn't have money. For a shop that you see customers tripping in and out, it means the person is making sales. So what is so difficult about setting aside XYZ amount of money? You know how much your rent is. You agreed to pay the said amount. And for you to have agreed, it means you must have put parameters in place to be able to renew the rent when the other one is due, right? But you don't make such arrangements. You see this person throwing parties. You see this person driving around town. You see this person doing a lot of things with money, but the person still owes you rent. And then you see there's one that is the problem. When the person is not even begging, the person is not even pleading with you to give, the person is now arrogant. And some tenants have become like mountain of Zerubbabel. Mountain of Zerubbabel in the Bible. Or that mountain that needs to be moved. That mountain that the Bible says, if you have faith as little as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea. Some of you tenants have made your landlord and landladies they'll carry you to Shiloh. They'll carry you to Glory Rain. They'll carry you to Holy Ghost Congress. They'll carry you to all the crusades. Their name, as in, when they are filling their expectation form, they are saying, oh Lord, remove these tenants from my house. How you want to do it, I don't know. Prayer and fasting, 21 days, 30 days, 40 days. You have become a prayer point. They've explored options. They've taken you to court, hussa. They brought in the police, hussa. They brought in area boys, woo. They brought in anything. They beg. They even beg. You say, come off from my house. You say, now yeah, go there. They remove your roof. You say, you see that roof you remove, you come and put it back. They put padlock on your door. You go and call somebody to come on. They cut your light. You fix it. You say, lie. Your landlord or landlady, they are now scared of you. They say, which kind of problem why I carry put for my house? Or put for my shop. But in the end, there is an agreement. So why is it that when it comes to payment time, you are reluctant to pay? Why are tenants reluctant to pay rent when due? 070-0923-0923 070-0923 093. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. If you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, do remember you can always send a WhatsApp message and I will gladly read. Do also remember to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call and then be audible so we can hear you. Nigerian for good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon.
Mrs. Zion, you're welcome.
Not that the tenants are reluctant to pay or they don't want to pay. Every tenant wish to be faithful to their tenancy agreement with their landlords. Subsequently, have their own land, build their own house. But most of these landlords, from the inspection of that tenant in that house, the landlord does not know that the rate that he charged the tenants to pay is dubious. See, you see this thing we call repercussion. Repercussion. Whatever a man sow, that is what he will reap. Go and check landlords and tenants who are having this kind of problem. And landlords that put exorbitant rates in their house for their tenants to pay. And the tenants pay the first year, no problem. He paid the second year, no problem. Go and check the third year. They cannot pay. Repercussion. You see, but this landlord, they don't understand these secrets I'm giving you today. And those who are landlords, they should learn what I'm saying. When you put your house rent too high, you use the cement bag rate of 15, or maybe when you are building the house, how much your cement bag? 12,000, 2,000 or 2,500. Now you now say, oh, property is appreciating. You now start charging them at 5,000 naira per cement bag. My dear, a repercussion will come. Now you are going to lose a particular number of months, if not year, to some tenants for you to pick up the demand of the high rate you charge them. I don't even understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
So if you know, this house owner they charge for 5,000, you know what more, and no buy cement or buy material at this rate, oh, I beg make I reduce the price, oh. You better do it to save you, so that these tenants can be paying your house rent accordingly. But if you say you are greedy, properties are increasing, they are appreciating. Instead of 3,000 per room, let me charge 10,000 naira. Go and check, even the one room of 10,000. After 1 year, the tenants cannot pay. Before you know, they are going you 3 months, 6 months, IFP will go is to take a vacation for them to evacuate their house. What about the 6 months that have gone? Do they pay you?
Mr. Zion, I understand your argument, to be completely honest. I do not agree with landlords who just wake up one morning and decide to increase rent. Sometimes, before you know it, an area that did not used to have constant electricity starts having constant electricity. All the landlords we meet and say, now the rent of this place, because this place is not like GRA, you know.
The road is good.
And the road is good, exactly. But I also know that some landlords and landladies undergo renovation. They look at their house and they say, you know what? I need to renovate this house. They go into the house, they look at everything. I say, there were rubber tiles in this house. I want to put in, what's this other tile called now? Ceramic tiles. They go around and they do repainting. They tell you, is there anything that is faulty in this house? They say, and the water, okay, I'll call a plumber. Some landlords do that. Now,
old carrying something, they now change them to modern.
Exactly, the windows. You remember? They put water heater. There was no shower.
GMP windows.
Exactly. There were louvers there. They changed all of them.
The same thing I'm telling you. Go back to those same houses and see the work the man has done into that house and put a price rate that is commensurate to the materials he bought.
Exactly.
So tenants.
Go ahead.
That we meet up to the demand.
Okay.
But if he now increase the rate beyond what he put in fixing that house, heaven will give him a tenant that will come and delay that money or waste it. Some things
Mr.
are
Zion,
spiritual.
I have also seen tenants, even this bacha that we are talking about. Now the price of bacha per month is not up to how much. They still need they pay.
Who builds the basha now?
They still need they pay.
Who builds the basha? See, you see this thing there. That is why I like God. God does not care whether it's a Y2K compliant God or ancient of modern. Oh. Whatever you sow, you will reap. So if the standard of your house is 3,000, I beg you not jealous person when they charge 10,000. Oh, remain for that 3,000. That is a lifelong investment. And this issue of power, there is power, steady power supply. Now you they pay the NEPA bill as a landlord.
Well, but like I said, sometimes steady power comes by virtue of landlords in that area coming together. You know, if they have to do something, if they have to draw a federal line, they pay for it. Those things are not. It's to the advantage of the people in that area, maybe what's in the area, and says, because I live here, we're going to ensure it, and everyone bets. But at other times, the landlords come together. They go to PHED or NEPA or the power distribution company in that area. Please, we want to be having constant power here. What will it cost us? And they pay. How
are they going to get the money? People will get that together. And so a landlord, you might use the risk. Same thing, let me just say this before I leave. Look at those environments to buy, or to repair, or to fix. Transformer will always blow steady there because it is right. Just for a government that somebody just wanted the transformer will take
okay. Nigerian for good afternoon. Okay, Sunny.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. Hi, no. Go ahead.
For you to rent after you do the rent, right?
That's what that design is saying.
I don't think. In this level classes,
okay,
you look at your before you pay rent, you know what belongs to them before you. The problem is that we don't. Let's remove the blame to the laws. Some live ground, and that is why they run into this problem. They are no longer original. They want that you enjoy because that man is living there. That is not a class. Actually, you cannot. I want to say the struggle in the second year, they are making trouble for a man who is he has value, mental value, and then there's that's supposed to be on the so they can't use your phone and someone else. The rent is annual thing. If the money for it, I think the reason why I'm scared man. And as much as I that I get will I say weekend landlords just that they are bad tenants and they are landlords. There are people who can have a problem. Because the ownership of this property. So I don't think the wise thing is to stay in anybody come and begin to make trouble. If you know that environment is not conducive, then leave at the end of the day.
All right.
Leave and find a peace for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, apply yourself well and pay your rent.
Well, have you heard of aspire to perspire the desire which you aspire? I mean, how do they put it? Some individuals intentionally move into a house that they know the rent is beyond them, because they say it serves as motivation for them to work hard to now be able to pay.
I will answer in this way. It is possible to pick a $1 million in the morning when you're walking on the road. But living a life of 1 million is an illusion. You have to face the reality of life.
All right, then.
Life with what you have in your hands, that is the best life any man can live. Don't put yourself in a high tension.
All right, thank you so much. Chile Edwin on Facebook says, I don't think it's completely true that a tenant will have money and refuse to pay rent. Because most times you may have been able to pay the initial rent, but along the line things change. And this is when the landlord should show understanding. But unfortunately, most persons will be asking unnecessary questions like, are you not feeding? But the truth is that things change either for good or for bad. Good afternoon, Didi. I'm a tenant, but what some tenants do is very bad. I can remember how my roommate does treat the issue of rent, and I'll be acting a landlord role by begging him to bring out money. Irresponsibility is the problem at times. Roommate. The roommate. Didi, I think it has to do with individual. I schooled in Dakar, Senegal. The landlord, who is a Senegalese, refused us staying because we are Nigerians. And the agent, a Senegalese, said if there's any issue, he should hold him. We got the house, and time to leave the house, the landlord came, inspected his property. Nothing was destroyed, and asked us, let's be honest, which country are we from? We had to show him our passports, and he was impressed. Told us to keep representing our nation well, that he has had ugly incidents with some Nigerians. He refunded us our caution money and gave us extra cash for being good tenants. Kachi, send that in. Interesting. Nigerian folk, good afternoon. Welcome. Oh dear, sorry about that. I am a landlord. My greatest headache is the damage the tenants cause before they leave after overstaying and having to live with force. Oh, Dr. Okay from Momodomaya. Do you think people will still want to be landlords after hearing some of these things? Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, my sister JD.
Good afternoon, my brother. Welcome.
Inke Daniel Dimogeto.
Inke Daniels, you're welcome.
I just called because of what my namesake, the last caller Daniel, has just said. There are wicked landlords. There are wicked tenants. As I am talking to you now, somebody is leaving one of my rooms. And the original wire used in that particular room that he was living, he cut them off. I had an argument with him this morning. So somebody is saying cement leak or the house you built when the cement was there, even 300 naira. If somebody has an estate, let's say an estate that is where there are houses, and that person is just like a retiree.
Tinker Daniels, are you still there?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Yes, and that person earns his income and trains his children with that. So now that everything has so much increased, is that person not supposed to use that particular distance to, earn a living and take care of himself as well? Let me start by saying I totally agree with what my namesake Daniel, the last caller, said. There are wicked landlords, there are wicked tenants. Thank you very much.
Wicked landlords, wicked tenants. Which are you? Good afternoon, DDW. Some tenants are intentionally wicked. I have these tenants that spend up to at least 8 to 9K weekly, but when it comes to paying his rent, he will keep giving excuses at times. I think it's because my siblings and I are women. Do you know that I brought a lawyer, but the lawyer couldn't quit him? Ihunwa Obirichi. Oh, God. God bless Mrs. Zai for that honest comment he made about tenants and landlords. Obviously, some tenants are bad, but some landlords too are very cruel. Increments in rent is the major problem. River State housing policy needs to be seriously looked into. Whoosh! Why are we always saying everyone should go into real estate? Solely because real estate appreciates over time. I mean, most of the billionaires in the world, the richest man in Africa, the richest man in this continent, in that continent, richest man in the world, are all into real estate. So, while the argument stands that you may have built this property when cement was 300 naira, people usually would get estate valuers to come and look at this property and say, in 2023, what is this kind of property in this location worth? And they say, oh, your property is worth XYZ amount at this time. On another location, that same kind of property may not be worth that much. True or false? So based on all of those things, some landlords and landladies will say, yes, my property has appreciated over time. Like I said also, some landlords and landladies will go about doing renovations. Some will do it after a tenant leaves to make the house worth it for the next tenant coming in. So if you're opportune to meet the previous tenant, and then the person says, how much were you paying? So I was paying 350. Don't expect the landlord to tell you that that house is still 350 when you come. because the landlord may do some things to make the house more presentable to you. Okay? And as time goes on, yes, the property appreciates. How it appreciates, I do not know. But I'm also not going to stay here until I agree with some tenants who will just sleep. They sleep and they tell them in their dream, oh yeah, increase rent. And they open their eyes and say, hear ye, oh ye tenants of Ogwashuku. Your rent now is this amount. It doesn't make sense. No meeting with your tenants, no review. On what premise are you increasing the rent? You cannot say. No improvement in the area. No security. They are still robbing them every night and day. No electricity. No good road. Not even paint. No painting. You not even say, oh, well, let me paint the gates of this compound. If I would not paint the house. Nothing whatsoever. That one, it doesn't make sense. But in the midst of all of this, you as a tenant, and I'm not saying this because situation is not bad, because the country is not hard. You just decide on your own and say, I no go pay rent. Anything we want happen, make it happen. Okay. Someone says, can I sue my landlord for increasing my shop rent from 80k to 150k? That's almost times 2. Without any renovation, he issued me the increment note on the 15th of January. My rent will expire today. I don't know what to do. I need help. My sister, that one, they want to rob you like this. You really do need help. Me, I will not pay. I will pack out and go look for another place. That's what I will do. Didi, I am a house agent. I can tell that each location matters to the value of the house. I rented a self-con in Odili Road for 350k. Wow. And where I stay in Rumubiakani, a self-con is 250k. Wait, I rented a self-con in Odili Road for 350k. And where I stay in Rumubiakani, a self-con is 250k. Why will I shoot myself on the leg to pay 350k when I can easily pay 250k? Nobody should speak of repercussions. Stay where you can afford. A landlord needs money to maintain his property and family. That's his business, he's doing. Nobody forced you to stay. Okay, Chuku, send that in. Okay. Now this one says, good day, Didi. I have a tenant whose rent expired August 2022, and he has not paid up to half that rent. I gave him 7 days notice from court. He pleaded and wrote an undertaking that he will pay up on or before the 31st of January 2023. I have been calling him now. His number is not going through again. I feel like mentioning his name here. He lives at Bonny Street. My name is Stanley. Stanley be coming down. Nigerian for good afternoon. You see where the problem is coming from. You made a promise. You made a promise. You signed. You appended your signature to the document stating you will pay. Why then do you refuse to pay? Why? Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome. What's happening to my phone now? Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Go ahead.
I can hear you.
All right. Go ahead.
Austin by name.
Austin, welcome.
The tenant refusing to pay his landlord. I see the person as a wicked tenant. One, I have come across some landlords during the time for them to build. They will go to the extent of sleeping with their wives to take care of the feeding, just for them to make sure that they complete the building. To save themselves the stress. And let him know, for him to know that this money, look at where it's going. Now, after all the stress, the tenants will come and go. Now, every day the tenant goes to work. If a customer comes to his or her shop and collects a goods without paying, how will he or she get money to pay other bills? Now, let's assume that this tenant, this landlord, has children that he has already bargained or has already planned the money to train in school. How is he going to do in training those children? What of feeding? Now, if you feed the landlord that, please look at how it is, they will listen to you unless if refused to. Now, have you come across or have you tried to know why he refuses? I have also seen a guy that pleaded a caretaker to allow him to stay in their building. This guy did not pay a dime till he entered, promising that the next week he will complete the money. About 350,000. This guy was paying, this tenant was paying this caretaker 20,000 almost every week, which is very, very bad. At the end of the day, the guy was forced to go out because he came in and spoiled other tenants' minds. Are you with me?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So you see that some tenants, they are something else. If a landlord refuses to accept you in his building, you say that he's bad. Now he has accepted you to come and say he refused to pay. What else do you want him to do?
All right, we need to go on the final commercial break now. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you. Thank you so much. We come back with a round of just stay tuned with Nigeria Info. PH on Instagram and Nigerian for 92.3 PH on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Denise_Dennis, and follow my Facebook page, Denise Dennis. Follow my Facebook account, Denise Dennis Wallow. Denise is spelled DENISE. Dennis is spelled DENNIS. Our final message here says, but Hackett, good afternoon, presenter. After all that you have enumerated, if I'm living in a place that later goes beyond my budget, I will quickly remember when my rent will expire and relocate to a more affordable house, affordable environment, and have my peace. Emmanuel from Port Harcourt. Please, it's a new year. Stop that habit of owing rent. Biko. Rivers Today comes up at 3, and thereafter had
politics, business, lifestyle,